Hey everybody, this is Ed from the Whiskey Tangent Podcast with another Whiskey Short. I'm here with Scott.
Hey everybody.
And also joining us are our good friends Marty and Rachel.
Hello, how you doing?
You last heard them on the Vermouth Cocktail episode, and nice enough to come back and bring with them a Pinhook straight bourbon whiskey. And Scott's going to tell you all about it, and we're going to have one of our famous Whiskey Tangent quick tastes today.
Whiskey Short.
That's right. We were weren't we at the lounge maybe? We were at the lounge, we were talking about it, and then you said, then you said you got it. I said, and we're like, oh, that sounds really cool. Make a pretty good quick taste. So when they came for the cocktail episode, we had Marty bring it with him.
Exactly.
So I have a short description, only 2 paragraphs, but it kind of explains everything about it. So here we go. Pinhook's Bourbon Vertical Series is a unique opportunity to follow a group of 1,350 barrels of bourbon sourced from MGP as they age from 4 to 12 years in order to experience the arc of flavors throughout its 9-year history. Every year, beginning with the inaugural 4-year release in 2019, Pinhook has selected and will continue to select 150 barrels from this allotment, blending and proofing them together, aiming to create the most balanced expression of the whiskey at that age. For the 2020 5-year expression that we have here tonight, the additional year of aging has transformed the tropical fruit notes of the 4-year edition into dark fruit flavors, and what had been a bright candy flavor is now rich and caramelized with hints of smoke starting to appear for the first time. So this is a bourbon. Its mash bill is 75% corn, 20.5% rye, and 4.5% malted barley. The proof is 104. The age is 5 years, as I said, bottled in 2020. The distiller is MGP. The blender bottler is Castle and Key Distillery in Frankfort, Kentucky. The price, MSRP, is like $55. Marty, what'd you get it for?
Probably about that. I think it was around 60 or so.
Okay. And tell the story of how you got it. You went up to like Saratoga or?
Yeah. Rachel and I, we went up to Saratoga Springs in New York, and we're actually looking to retire up there. So we went out in town, and we found this nice little liquor store. We're just perusing the bottles there, and the owner came over and asked her, for opinion, and she showed us this vertical, so we decided to get it.
Yeah, it's a really cool concept. So we'll be able to get one of these every year. We talk a lot on the podcast about how, like, if it's a young whiskey, we're like, if this was just aged one more year, what it would taste like. And now we can do it with this particular expression.
Right. It's the same mash bill aging gradually every year. So next year they'll do 6 year, and finally
7.
9 year will be the last one.
Well, actually it'll be 9 years plus 4, so like 13. Because they started at the 4-year.
Well, wait, how? You're right, but I'm confused. So they just started this last year? This is the second year they're doing it?
2019 they started, and this is the 2020. Yeah.
2020.
So it'll go to what, 2027?
Right. Oh my God.
It's crazy.
Hope I live long enough to get the last bottle. It's another motivation to start getting some walking in.
That's right. Now you have a reason.
I have a reason. Pinhook has given me a reason to live. When I live. This is the perfect bourbon for me. It's a high corn.
Yeah.
It doesn't find its way on the podcast a lot with Scott, the gatekeeper of rye.
No, come on. That's not true.
It's in it.
The look he gave me. Did you guys see that?
Crickets.
It's so funny. Even when I get a bourbon, it's like, all right, this is 51% corn, 48% rye. So anyway.
Now you have issued a challenge. I'm going to go back to every single bourbon that we did and do that's mash bill, and I'm going to come up with a number.
You want to do the overall mash bill of the podcast for the first 2+ years?
Oh, that would be amazing. Would it be a bourbon or a rye?
Well, the problem is those proprietary bastards that won't tell us. That'll throw us off. It'll always give us a gray area to argue.
That's true.
All right. So let's back to the Pinhook. 5 years.
Yes.
Hopefully I'll be around for number 12. But if not, hopefully the children of the earth will celebrate in my name 2028.
We'll celebrate for you in your honor.
Right. You'll drive up to Buckfuck, New York, or wherever they're retired to, and drink a Pinhook for me.
I think it was Saratoga.
Oh, gosh.
I mean, the proof, you can definitely smell the proof, 104.
Absolutely, yeah.
I mean, vanilla.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Typical bourbon smells.
Yeah. Corn oak, a little burnt sugar, maybe a little creme brulee, maybe on the nose. I'm getting like a little burnt sugar smell.
All right. Now the problem is I peeked at the nosing notes, and now I can smell a little bit.
Wait, don't say it.
Okay.
I'm getting almost like an orange
Apple
liqueur.
Okay.
Anybody else get that? Like a little Grand Marnier in the background?
I thought a sour apple, but
Oh, I mean.
Oh my God, it smells like sadness and despair. Do you get that? Oh no, that's the Isaac Bowman. Never mind.
Oh, wow. Wow. It smells good. I don't think there's anything particularly challenging about the nose. It smells really good. Let's taste it.
While we're tasting it, what was their nose notes?
Yeah, so the nose notes of vanilla, banana, and nuts, like a fresh baked loaf of banana bread. And when I smelled it really deep, I got a little bit hint of that. With some cherry and tropical fruit also on the nose.
Yeah, I got a little bit of a cherry.
What's banana bread? Walnuts, kind of a walnut.
Yeah.
Yep. Bananas, no, though. I don't really smell
I did
that.
not get, yeah.
It's not bad, though.
God, it's really tasty.
Very clean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I taste a lot of orange on it.
Okay.
The flavor explodes in the beginning, and then the finish is short, but not unpleasant. It just, there's a little bit of a burn still in my throat from the 104 proof, but I feel like it isn't one where the finish just extends, like let's say a Booker's or something, where it's just going to keep going and keep going.
I think of it as a kind of a classic sipping bourbon, very clean, not overly flowery or anything. I think just because of the high proof, I'm probably on ice for me.
Yeah, you can put a little bit of water in it first, and then
good idea.
Yeah, try some more water because I think Ed, maybe what's happening is the high proof of it is making it short for you. Like it tastes like it might be short because all the alcohol is dissipating and the flavors are going with it. So let's put a little bit of water on it.
We have little stoppers of water from the top of K2. We've climbed up there and
Gabe did it for us. Gabe the whiskey Sherpa.
we said Gabe.
Sherpa.
Now it tastes a little spicier to me with the water on it, where before it was a burst of sweetness, which I couldn't really identify what the sweetness was.
That's weird. It is spicier on the tongue.
But it's now spicier with a little bit of the water in
and
it.
the finish seems a little longer.
Right. It does.
That's really interesting.
So on the palate, it says a thick mouthfeel, which I guess we could all agree on that. Notes of cherries, banana, simple syrup, roasted marshmallows, cinnamon, and corn.
I mean,
Corn.
It's like with the marshmallow, I was smelling kind of like a burnt vanilla. I mean, I don't think they mean marshmallows like right out of the package. I think it's like over the campfire type of a thing. Is what
it does say roasted marshmallows.
Right. So So roasted marshmallows and creme brulee. I mean, burnt sugar.
Sure.
They're all the same. That's a very similar thing. So I'm taking credit for that. Thank you.
Yes. Good job.
I actually like it both ways because it's a little bit different. Sometimes I don't like it.
I've heard that, Scott.
So sometimes I put water in it and I don't like it as much because I really like it. Things high proof. But with this one, it's just a different drink almost.
Yeah. It definitely changes the finish.
Yeah. This is quite good.
I don't enjoy cast strength as much as Scott and Jeff.
Jeff, yeah.
I like
big fans.
Pure Kentucky XO, which is 107. I'm sorry to even say it on the air because I don't want people to start buying it, but it's like that's 107, same as Baker's, and
it's good stuff.
I had the High Redemption bourbon that was 105.
Okay,
and I really like that.
And then bring it down with a globe.
A little globe down to like 95, and then I'm done by then.
Right.
I drink it.
You drink it
never
fast.
gets past 90. So, but I think that sometimes when I start at 121 or something, because I tend to drink with determination, that I never get it. I never get it down past 105. To me, that's still too hot sometimes to enjoy the flavors that can open up.
Sure, because it's blocking some of the flavor for you.
Right. So I've really been enjoying this. I'd like it better for a 5-year at around 45 to 50.
Right, a little
49.99.
Yeah.
But every now and then at 60, I would buy it.
Yeah, I like it. I'm trying to compare it to like I said, the back end's very spicy, very, I don't want to say alcoholic, but has heaviness.
Sure.
But I'm comparing it like to, one of my favorite is Noah's Mill. And that's very high octane. But in the back end, it's a little, spicy going down. But this one seems to linger more. Though.
Yeah, we have poured them on our globe. Rachel, you made a gesture. Did you not like it on the globe? Or?
Oh, no.
You like it much better?
I like it even.
Okay.
I mean, and I liked it every step of the way, but this is
you
my
like
favorite.
it on the globe.
Yeah,
Okay.
and now I feel like this rounds out the flavor a little bit more.
Okay.
Yeah, much better now.
Can I say kettle corn?
Sure.
You can say whatever you want.
I can
Well,
I can definitely see that.
Yeah, because
kettle
everybody
corn.
else just throws shit against the wall and sees if it sticks. So why shouldn't you? I mean, we've heard some ridiculous tasting notes from people that I know that they looked at their friends and said, watch what I'm going to put down for this.
Yeah.
Sometimes they'll be like, they'll put peeps in there or something like that.
It tastes like pink marshmallow
And
peeps.
circus peanuts. You can suck my circus peanut, brother.
Whoa.
oh,
All right, you just ruined circus
Wait.
peanuts. for me.
So
And I love circus
Ed,
peanuts.
are you saying that it's orange and dimpled? Is that what you're saying? Okay.
I'm not a ginger, so no. No offense to gingers, though.
I mean, with the globe, it's colder, of course. Honestly, typically I don't like it on the globe because it just waters it down too much. But there's nothing wrong with it on the globe. I prefer it with a little bit of water in it, actually. Because the neat is a little bit too high.
Yeah, I'm getting a little herbaceousness on the finish. What does the finish say?
Oh, yeah. So on the finish, it says pleasantly long and full of almonds, orange citrus, buttered popcorn. And lingering cinnamon spice.
Nice.
Nice job, everyone. That's good.
That's nice. Really good. And also, a long finish was directly in my face. Right.
I
said a short finish. Wasn't it? Well, we think it's a long finish. So why don't you stop acting like you know anything about our whiskey?
These tasting notes are from whiskeyconsensus.com. Just for people who are listening. Now, do you guys know what Pinhook actually means? So I was curious because if you look on the bottle, there's a horse, right? There might be a horseshoe.
Horseshoe underneath.
Right, horseshoe underneath. And I was like, what does pinhook have to do with horses? So I looked it up. The definition of pinhook is to buy a commodity cheaply, originally tobacco, but specifically today, a young racehorse. With the expectation of selling it later for profit. So on the Pinhook website, it says successful pinhooks, much like whiskey, are made on instinct, experience, and an appreciation of quality and a little luck. Which is why there's a horseshoe and a horse on the logo. These are actual horses. So this guy is Bourbon War. He's a 5-year-old horse. He ran in the 2019 Preakness and Belmont Stakes.
Nice.
He had 13 starts, 2 wins, 2 places, and a show and career earnings of $234,000.
Oh my God. Scott, we have more career earnings than the horse, though. So
234. Well, right. Well, not on the podcast.
No, not right. The podcast has not earned
from
as
a
much
regular
as,
job.
Right, from a regular job. If our podcast made as much as Bourbon War did, it would be a great world. I have to tell you,
we could quit our regular jobs.
We loved it because we were in Saratoga, and the fact that this had a horse on it, I think that's one of the
They have a famous racetrack up there.
Somewhat
famous. Yeah, if you're into race horsing,
horse racing, not race horsing.
What did I say? Race horsing?
You did. There's race horses who go to horse races.
Some of those that race horses often go to horse races. Okay.
That's it. You're cut off.
You're horsist. Yeah, so these are real horses. McMahon Hill, which is a full-service bloodstock agency, they call. They have clients that are raised and bred their horses, blah, blah, blah. And they identify the horses that are featured on the bottles for them. Because, of course, this is Kentucky. And much like Saratoga, huge racehorsing fans.
Oh, I mean, yeah, the Kentucky Derby, sure.
I mean, they have a ton of other bourbons also, and they have different mash bills. I don't know if we want to go through it, but the horse names are fun. They're all named after whiskeys. So Bourbon Courage, Bourbon Eyes, #Bourbon, Bent on Bourbon, Urban Bourbon, Bourbon Empire, Bourbon Resolution, Bourbon Country, Bohemian Bourbon, and Bourbon Heist. And they have ryes also, Bourbon and Rye, Rye Humor, Ride On. Ride on.
Like it?
'Tis Rye Time. And Hard Rye Guy. Ooh. That's me. Hello. Showing.
Showing is right because you're not winning. Maybe place for show.
Well, I'm showing all right.
Wow.
So, Scott, I'm curious that you like this because on paper, this would be one you would not like.
I do prefer rye. This does have a high rye content, though. 20.5% rye is pretty high. And I do prefer it neat with a high proof. You're right, though. This isn't one that I would seek out and go, oh, I must have this one. That's why it's cool about doing this podcast is you get exposed to things that you might otherwise not get for yourself.
This is a surprisingly good whiskey for 5 years old. And I think the initial batch that they brought in from MGP was probably very, very carefully selected. And you know how we feel about MGP. We feel like they are the closest things to magicians in the world today.
Yeah. It's true. Like if you go back and listen to our sourcing whiskymentary, our 3-part, the middle one, I think is where we talk about MGP. And we talk about it's a source of contention, but only if you're not really in the know. And it used to be like, oh, sourcing, you don't want to source anything. But today, almost everybody sources it. Even legitimate companies who produce their own whiskey. They distill their own stuff they source also.
Yeah, because it gives them another wrinkle they can mix with their product to give them a whole new product line if they wanted. And the thing about MGP is they have a long history of making whiskey on that site. I mean, if you're a history guy, they were making whiskey at MGP site, in the middle of the 1800s? And they have rumors even into the late 1700s of when they first started making it. And that's really why that spot, because of we talked about the water and the limestone that filters it. It's a unique area.
Yeah, the water is really important.
I feel like that whole tangent, Scott, we're just going to cut that out.
No.
I feel like he's like, when he nods, I'm like, okay, just let him finish and I'll just get rid of this later.
That's absolutely false.
All right. So honestly, to finish up with this.
Yeah, final thoughts.
This was really good. I actually had no expectations. I thought it would be nice to try it. I was hoping it would be a nice bourbon. If I was poured this a month from now, I'm like, oh yeah, I'll take that. Sure.
Yeah,
Put that out.
absolutely.
I'd be happy as hell to have
Yeah,
this.
Pinhook, if I saw it on the bar, I probably wouldn't even have given it a second glance. But now that I've had it, absolutely, I would order it out. Like in a couple years too. Like if it's the 7-year or the 8-year, you know what? Let's try this now.
Yeah.
See what it tastes
Right.
like. Yeah.
Yeah, they got us hooked up. They pinhooked us.
But
Is it? Because I feel like that's exactly what they did. Because you're right. I mean, don't we have to try it almost every year?
Kinda.
All right, so we'll meet here next year.
Next
Sure.
year.
Yeah.
Next year.
So, Marty, you like it? You'd buy it again?
I would definitely buy it again.
You're going to buy one next year and come on the podcast?
I
we are.
Yeah, I actually like to put it on the rocks and how it did mellow out. I kind of like a bourbon that does that. I like it strong in the beginning, but then at the end, I want it to mellow out and just get some flavor at the end.
And it's right at the proof that you can definitely do that. 104 is a perfect place for that, as Ed was saying earlier.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Rachel, what are your final thoughts?
I know a lot of times, especially after a long day, Marty and I would like to have a little snifter of bourbon. But and if you put it on ice, it's nice that every sip is a little bit different as it waters down.
And it's not going to water down too much.
Yeah.
I mean, that's so
and
true.
You can't
right?
chug it, but you don't want to, and that's part of relaxing and how you end your day, right?
Right. Coming back, putting your feet up, relaxing, trying to forget you have kids. I mean, all that's part of being, working adults nowadays. That's great.
I would say so. I saved a little bit neat, actually, with a little bit of water in it. I'm getting a real thick rye spice at the very end of it, and I'm enjoying it very much.
Oh, good.
Yes. So I think that's it.
Yeah, so I'm pouring myself another splash because I don't want to be left out.
That's what the silence was.
Yeah, so I was like, oh,
I
wait.
threw it to end it, and then
I was like, wait, end it. Well,
all you hear is boink.
So listen, if you get a chance to jump on board of the Pinhook Vertical Challenge that they have going on here, we're at the 5-year, and they're going to ride it all the way up to
9 years total.
Right. So for the Whiskey Tangent Podcast, go get yourself a bottle and join the fun. I'm Ed.
I'm Scott.
I'm Marty.
I'm Rachel.
Until next time, cheers, everybody.
All right, later.